Hello, friends. Welcome to ThinkerViews podcast. In today's segment, we are going to share our unbiased views and reviews for a book that is a historical fiction or more of a fiction. At one end, we are talking that people are compromising the good habit of reading with other entertainment options, and on the other, we see a bunch of new authors entering into the arena. While some of them deliver really good books and some chooses nice subjects as well, others are not that good. Even some of them are really delivering some crap in the name of entertainment. Some of them feel that using cuss words and writing adult content is their privilege. We strongly believe that in the name of reality, you cannot deliver semi pornographic material for sure. Anyway, as mentioned earlier, some of the writers are really good. Recently, we are impressed with some of the authors like Deepak Kripal, Paulomi Sengupta, Oliver Lafont, Salil Desai, and many others. We are excluding name of some of the famous authors, of course, because their books are already bestsellers and they are well known to the readers. And here comes Rahul Mitra with his maiden book, The Boy from Pataliputra. Let us take a bird's eye view of the plot of the book. On a note, please remember that I will try to keep spoilers at the bay, but at least some of them are inevitable. Aditya is a young boy living in Pataliputra. Ajit, his elder brother, is the world to him. While Ajit is quite fond of the rules and the system, Aditya was living like a free bird. In the time when birth-based caste system was respected by Ajit, Aditya didn't care if his friend is of lower caste or otherwise. Indu Kalp, the Kotwal of the city, was a stubborn and straightforward fellow. When it comes to the law, he observes only one way: follow the rule or ready to get punished. One fateful day, a complicated incident handled by Indu Kalp in his traditional way, and Ajit was asked to execute his order. The things went wrong. Actually, it was a farmer's land was illegally invaded by some monks who have started building a monastery there, and the landowner lodges a complaint with Hindukal. Despite Ajit's best efforts and genuine behavior, the things went wrong, as one of the monks was died on place. At the same time, Indukalp was offered the place of Chief Justice by the king, and Ajit was promoted as the Kotwal of the city. The case of death of the monk took a political turn and came to Indukalp's court. He knew the facts, and actually it was him who ordered the things as Kotwal. So he knew that Ajit is not guilty of doing anything wrong, and actually there was nothing wrong done by him. He wanted to make him free on the spot. The things took an ugly turn when the king's messenger came with a message. Despite knowing the facts, Indu Kalp did something he shouldn't. It was all to save his own neck, and Ajit was given the death sentence, and all his wealth was seized. Aditya is now alone, and he is hunted by the authorities. How his life takes turn from here, and how he fights the battle of his life, is the rest of the story. Here are my views and reviews for this book. While most of the authors these days try exploring something which appeals to the majority of readership, there are only a few who try to write something with a substance. We consider The Boy from Pataliputra is one such attempt by Rahul. The first chapter of the book is not very effective. Personally, after reading it, I doubted about exploring the book further. But once you start exploring it forward, it will take you in a specific reader's zone from where it is tough to escape. The events we have mentioned in the plot above will grip you so tightly that you will start seeing from the eyes of Aditya. The hurdles he went through, the way a personal interest can bend the things, the importance of genuine friendship and never say die attitude in one's life, all these things are conveyed really effectively in the book. The author is good at building scenes and explaining situations. The characters are built pretty nicely. The book maintains its pace almost throughout. The author has some strong opinions and he doesn't hesitate to talk about it. Most importantly, he has a clear vision. The dialogues are written in a layman's language and thus appeals to the readers. At the same time, Some philosophical stuff and harsh realities of life are explored well too. Here are some of the lines from various segments of the book which I found really worth mentioning. It's not easy to make one's living, Aditya. Life is tough, and one has to put up with a lot of nonsense, swallow humiliation and stress from time to time, and work very, very hard. You need to understand this. Hey Dev, I am but the dust beneath your feet. Then tell me, how do I bless you, O dust beneath my feet? I know you want revenge, but this is not the time, son. You are not strong enough. First take care of yourself, become something in your right, and then when you have the power and strength, you will also get your revenge, if the gods will it so. Till then, be patient, watch and learn. Keep your mouth shut and your eyes and ears open. You'll do that, won't you now? Remember, a man never blames others for his situation or circumstances. The road may be long and dangerous. There may be storms or rain or sun outside, but the one in the saddle will always be you. That is what it means to be a man, that you are in charge of your own life. Rishabha would invariably end up upsetting some of them with his theories by saying things like, men did not need to consume luxuries to be happy. He blamed the merchants for creating desire among citizens for things that were not required, and thus promoting unhappiness in society. Poverty not only physically debases a man, but also crushes his spirit by stripping away at his dignity. Time is the most elastic of concepts. When one is desperately waiting for a situation to change, even a day seems like a month, while at other times entire years slip by unnoticed. It was late afternoon, and the sun hung low in the western sky like an angry ball of fire. With the last of its remaining strength, it beats down its bloodthirsty, scorching rays on the backs of 5 students who sat in a semicircle on the ground. A grim dance was playing out in the middle, a lioness holding off a pack of jackals. You want respect, but intimidation and force will get you only fear and resentment. They can never get you respect. That comes from character, from a lifetime of choices made and actions taken. People respect wealth and power in this world, my friend, and no one cares for a man with no position and no wealth, no matter how idealistic they may be. Another good thing is the book can be read as a motivational one also. It shows us how circumstances can change a person. The transition of Aditya to become the man his brother wanted him to be, from a boy from Pataliputra, is really worth reading. The first impression I got from the book is that it could be an exploration of the story of Chandragupta. The book mentions Chandragupta and Chanakya, but it is not about them. The protagonist is a common man who was a boy for the most part of the book, who in his journey moves ahead and fails at places. The important thing is he learns from it and bounces back. The book is a historical fiction. So there is no need to find historical accuracies in the book, especially from the critical point of view. The author, at places, leaves an incident halfway to let your logical reasoning and imagination conclude it yourself. Rahul shares his reason to portray the stuff in that way in the book. For example, take a look at the way he portrayed the end of the fight between Alexander and Porus or Parvateshwar or Puru. While Tanku's Dhaba chapter is important in the book, it is something I found disappointing for various reasons. The book has several proofreading errors, mainly missing space between two words, etc. Also, while the author took utmost care to mention ancient names of countries and states, there is a place he mentioned India, and that too from the characters which shouldn't have said the word. Bharat should be used. Also, the words like Are or Sale may be found out of context in terms of the book content by some of the readers. Political and geographical maps at the beginning of the book, glossary, and notes at the end of the book are other positive aspects of the book. What to mention? Simple yet effective cover page of the book. I must mention that Rahul is not just any other author who writes as per his imagination. His detailed research for historical incidents, sword fighting, war techniques, and other stuff quite visible in the book throughout. In addition, the vulnerability of the teenage is also explored evidently in the book. So, what is the conclusion? Definitely a worth reading book. It has its own low points, of course, but there are more highs than the lows. If you can read using an open mind and have an attitude to read something with a substance, then this book is definitely a good choice. ThinkerViews rating, well, I will give it around 7.5 to 8 stars out of 10 without hesitation. So, what do you think about this book? Are you going to read it? What do you think about this book review? If there are any other books that you want us to review for you, please do not hesitate to mention it via comments below. If you genuinely like this review, please give a thumbs up. Please do share it with your friends. Have a good time. Till we meet with our next book review. Bye bye. Take care. Namaskar.